Traffic Warden closing in. Stormboy is the leader from Traffic Warden and broadsiding the outside. Broadsiding and Traffic Warden, they'll fight it out. Traffic Warden broadsiding, bobbed, won the Golden Rose.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. Walt's up and about. He's ready to roll. Here we are at the Goldie.
I'm ready to go. I'm with my Super Mushroom Complex, new sponsors of the show, Metagenics, with the Super Mushroom Complex. I am ready to go this week.
Big powder man, Scooty. Powder for everything.
Powder for everything.
Powder for everything. Big talc man. DK, welcome back down in Melbourne town.
Oh, thank you, Scoot. Yes, 25 degrees down here. Probably even better day than it is up there.
Yes.
I've got a bit. My missus and daughter in Malaysia, so I've had the house. How's the serenity this week, Nico? It's been magnificent. Just a nice, quiet house. Doesn't happen very often, especially during school holidays. How are you travelling? Nico's back.
Pretty good this morning. Woke up with a bit of pep in the step with the weather. So, Saturday's going to be huge for Flemington. There's still a little bit of rain about later in the week, so hopefully that sort of stays away. Not like last meeting we had there where it was like bloody Arctic being at Flemington on Can't Mistakes Day, but today was bloody good with the weather, so hopefully it sticks around.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. A huge weekend of racing quickly in the rear view mirror, broadsiding. Wow. If you believe them or they, he'll win the Guineas, he'll win the Cox Plate, and had a bit of a pre-race sensation. Linebacker just blew his load pre-race, had a stiffy the whole way around, and then just blew it all at the gates. John Walter.
I've not seen that before. I've not seen one actually come to a climax pre to the race. Like, what is that? I'd have to get Glenn Pollitt on the line and ask him, is that a positive or a negative? Or has he ever copped a shower before? Holy cow, but he definitely... I thought they'd give him another shot at the Guineas, but it sounds like we won't see him again with the...
I did offer my services.
Yeah.
I was going to just go down there with the hairdresser's water bottle and follow him around, just like shoot him with the kid's water pistol. Get back in there.
They did all that before the race. They've got the bloody water bucket out. They got the water pistol out. And you was talking about weird unit of a horse. There was no fillies in the race. Yeah. He's carried on like that. So, he cost himself his manhood, he's paid the ultimate price, Nico. Oh.
Yeah, they just as soon as they get the old fifth leg out, they never win. Those horses look at him in the yard. So, as soon as he did that, he was no chance.
There's been a few times down at Caulfield where, I've just shriveled up. So, colder climate, I'd give him one more throw at the stumps. You're just so close to a Guineas. I'd roll the dice once more time as a bit of a punter and a bit of a...
It was the perfect storm for me. His old fella come out. He was in millions and broadsiding was into evens. So I thought, I'm going to watch this race. Now all of a sudden I'm unloading on Stormboy and Traffic Warden, and I felt like the reverse linebacker after the race. I climaxed the wrong way, but they put some on, and plenty had to go right for it to get over the line. But yeah, good luck. They landed it. Well done.
Yeah, biggest go I've sort of seen from a shortening day of in the last sort of day of the race, I suppose, or the last 30 minutes since probably Lee Gracheur in the Cox Plate a few years ago. It was just a complete cave-in job. It was unbelievable. But yeah, even Mayfair, he sort of copped a bit of a check late in the race, and he sort of ran out of his skin. So I'd be interested to see how it all translates for Guineas Day.
If Jelko's marking him evens in that race, first up, with some possible vulnerabilities on the map and stuff, like you said, Scoot, you might, maybe people haven't skied about him in the Cox Plate, but I'll tell you what, they're models. They love it. They love a 3-year-old in the Cox Plate. So third up or whatever he's going to, fourth up or whatever he's going to eat that. I'm tipping they're going to have a horn for him in the Cox Plate if they've had a horn for him first up like that.
Yeah, and especially with prognosis, I saw a little clip saying that he's got a bit of a tendency to miss the kick, and then you got Pride of Jenny out in front, and then you got Mr. Brightside, I assume Fangirl. There's some pretty honest sort of horses, horse like Another Will. It's got to be on for young and old, and here he is. He'll just be sailing somewhere down the outside with 49 kegs. So fascinating contest, but market's pretty tight. Looking at futures positions there. Growing Empire gave us all the fright of our lives, but old Southport Tycoon, you were tipping at Walt. I was half keen at as well. M Zara, Absolute Peach. Oh, having a look at the punting form data, I thought the horse was spent. I watched the replay many times.
Had to be, didn't it? It was such a good run regardless.
Yeah.
But
he had to go to a new level. He did. I thought he was all honours in defeat, but there's only so much the horse can do. You guys might have a different view down in Melbourne, but both horses were sensational, I thought.
So we had concerns about the Moya form coming into that it was any good, and that got shown up there. And the way the ratings have come out on the night, race 1 and 2 have run equal to or quicker time than that race. That's a Group 1 race. So I don't know about that race going forward. Nico, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. After Max betting going Empire, and I was probably one. I thought he was home watching in the grandstand. I was like, I thought Tycoon's coming, but he's not going to get him. And then, I even after the post, I still thought he won. So sick result. But anyway, couldn't believe just how much he improved in the yard, that horse. Like, he just was just so much better than what he was at Flemington. And I think he'll continue to do that throughout his career. He doesn't have the same sort of physical strength of a few of the other horses there. So once he gets that, well, could be game over for a few of the others because, showed how good he was. Southport Tycoon exploded with the blinkers on. I think the first two are all right. I Wish I Win. There's definitely some queries on where he's at. I think he's favourite for the Everest, and there's been a lot of talk during the week that he probably shouldn't be of what he's doing, but he will get the blinkers back on. And if there's any rain on the day or things like that, like, he comes more into play from that scenario, and more speed in the race will help him as well. Now, Lady Camelot gets a slot in the Everest somehow. That'll definitely help him as well.
I agree with everything you've said there, Nico, and I love that T-Dogs are starting to pick a fight. Or he must have been bored one night, Monday or Tuesday night, and said, I'm just going to pen and stir a couple up with I Wish I Win and say that he's no chance. So great place to start a fight, the old Twitter sphere, and you can get a couple in. But concur, first two out of that race and pen the rest. And he must just have so much money, Sir Owen Glenn, to lease a spot and then put Lady Camelot in it. I thought it was a bit of a sick joke. Had to go back in the steward's report, did a bit of a reverse, and thought, what have I missed here with Lady Camelot? Because we backed her and Stiffy Magnetica. We backed the each of two in that race, and Stiffy just got sausaged by IME, and I thought I'd missed something. But Camel.
Oh, he's just bought the slot for fun. It's pretty simple.
Would it be cheaper to just get tickets? They'd just let him in the mounting yard if he wanted to go.
Yeah, you like to have the colours at least go around, don't you? You probably get another one before the end because there's not too many horses they can pick, so there might be another couple of spots up for grabs. He might throw bloody Piercing Arrow in there or something after getting beat 6 at Kensington, whatever it was yesterday, Rose Hill. It's a bit of a weird race, isn't it? So tomorrow will probably help, or Saturday, whatever. You'll get to see
help the pitcher.
Yeah, Giga and Think About It. I guess they're two horses that are a good chance of getting a slot if they run well.
I think the horses in Sydney have got the edge. Let's have a look at a racing organisation who's got their shit together. They call it Together at the Table. Southside Racing, the merger of Cranbourne and Pakenham just makes sense when they start to dish out this sort of business. Nico, you're all about this. $1 potato cakes, dim sim, donut, $2 pizza, bucket of chips, water, Coke, blah, blah, blah. $4 sangers, fruit bowls, salad bowl, $8 curry and rice. I tell you what, this is the biggest common sense, no-brainer, bloody alley-oop, layup. It's the easiest win that racing can ever make and ever do. Now, all of a sudden, the Joe Blow, the knockabouts, families can just go to the races and they just don't do their kaiba on food, and they can have a couple of bets and have a great day out for the family.
What if you drown 20 dim sims and you're in hospital by race 3?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the easiest decisions you can make, and Kylie Rogers from the VRC, I think she'll be the next to follow suit, and they'll make racing affordable for everyone. But better than those $13 sangers at the Valley, Nico.
That's the thing, isn't it? If they can show they can do it for a period of time, well, everyone can do it, can't they? So that's probably the good thing for someone like me who goes to the races all the time, and families and those kind of things, because it's not very affordable at the moment. So yeah, if they can show they can do it, and they're probably not bringing in as much money from the gate and those kind of things, and the big metro clubs when they have Saturdays, probably just shows that hopefully a few others follow suit. But yeah, great initiative, and can get bloody cold a few of those nights out at Pakenham and Cranbourne. So sometimes you do need a little bit of a warm meal to go a little way there. So if you're doing your ass, you can at least get a $2 dim sim.
Still back a winner. Still like $1,
mate. You get 2 for $2. 2 for $2, yeah, and a donut for 3.
Yeah, I'd be all over it. I'd be absolutely all right. It'd be a game changer for me. So many single blokes will just jump at that. Today's show is an absolute monster. You can feel it. If you've seen the noms and you've had a squiz at the fields already, where you go into overdrive. Last week was a good one to just get through with your shirt on, I would have thought. Donny, biographer and devastating biographer, almost sort of got the job done. Any Grand Pope followers would have seen him brain the Toowoomba Guineas field. Now he's off to Sydney, nominated in a couple of the big races.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how the Toowoomba Guineas form translates, but he's a nice horse.
Yeah, and he was in a tricky little spot there at one point. You thought, oh, this looks a bit interesting. And then he won by about 10 plus, didn't he? It was
beautiful.
Pretty impressive. So be good to line him up.
Nico back from holiday, so he's going to dive into a Flemington 2-year-olds, and surprise, surprise, the Camel Stayers race. So he's easy to read, old Nico. And then we've got the Tassie Summer Racing Carnival. So if you're watching the show, you can see the little Tas Racing logo. So great to have the boys from Tassie back on board, and they're just going to own it down there in the summer series, summer night series. So very smart programming, Tas Racing. So that'll give you something to bet on as Moonee Valley and Canterbury Knights heat up. Don't forget about our friends down in Tassie. Southport Tycoon was a good one for you, Walty, and we all sort of took on broadsiding. So maybe he's the next big thing. DK War Machine was pretty honest. Barraquil got the chocolates there.
He was sensational.
Christ, that was a win, wasn't
looking at it, good as a win. Yeah, I mean, you got the two horses I tipped last weekend, War Machine and Miss Winslet, both ran exactly how I thought they'd run. They both savaged the line, chased the line. Barraquil just went good in the winkers. The races they've run quicker time than the Group 1 with a margin to the rest. Like, he's a proper horse, that War Machine, the way he kept chasing Barraquil. And Miss Winslet, you know, what price she ran them? $13 or something, and just got beaten that far.
Just got beat.
Got beat. So sometimes, Scoot, it's, you don't put your hand out, but you're happy with your analysis,
Patient diet operation is success. What is it? The other way around.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever we say. Anyway, back to the provincials. You're going to go hunting down at Warrnambool. Pride of Jenny was a good one for track profile, so better set up there, and everyone sort of lent her way over Mr. Brightside. So great roar and great atmosphere at Moonee Valley. Just to show good programming, good horses.
Great
the rest will
ride,
take care of itself. Great ride, great steer.
I reckon he just puts the doubt when he's that far in front. He puts the doubt in him. When do we go? When do we push the button? When do we chase? That's what he wanted to do. You can see 100 metres after the start. That's what he was doing. So that was exciting. It was good stuff. What a great night's racing.
I think Antino's back too. I thought he was a bit of an eye catcher. I'm not sure Tony knows exactly what that horse is, but I'm saying he's at his top. His last two runs have been full of merit for mine, so they'll know he's there in the Toorak or whatever race that they target next to him. But yeah, it's interesting that they won't try him over further ground, because he sort of gives me the impression he might go 2,000 or 2,400, that horse.
It's hard to place, isn't it? He's hard to place to get a win. That's the biggest problem for Antino. He's kind of got to that level now, and he needs everything to go his way. He's a bit of a punish, but he's going well.
Yellow Brick I took on, might have got a little bit lucky, but Hidden Wealth saved me there in the Wheatwood. I'm going to have a look at the Turnbull Stakes. TopSport Steam went zip from 4. Disgusting. I think they had maybe a second placing, so no good for the early bets there. Good news is Bob on all group races in Victoria and Queensland, and then in New South Wales Group 1s, and so you can get on to win 10,000. And they're also TopSport. I've been made aware from our good friend Tristan that he's going to do between 3 and 4 p.m. on Friday, betting to 110% on the board to win 10,000 for the Turnbull Stakes from 3 to 4 p.m. on
the old hour
Friday.
Of power, back in the day.
Well, it's just, they're just going to drop the 110% on the board. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Old school percentages and bet to win 10,000. So interesting little bookie tactic there, and hopefully they get some success out of it there. So make sure you check out TopSport between 3 and 4 on Friday afternoon, and there'll be something there. If you've got a good handle on the Turnbull Stakes, it'll be like a feeding frenzy. There's a few bookies that have tried this in the past, and yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of the action. It's sort of like the 5 minutes before the race sort of action. So make sure you cancel all your kids' sport and get yourself set there at TopSport between 3 and 4 on a Friday. And don't be at the pub to miss that one. Sounds like an absolute beauty. They've also got Top Fluck as well, protest payout, same game multi, same race multis, all that business at topsport.com.au. So make sure you support the team that support us. Friday, Warrnambool DK, race number 1 is the run for CJD, 2,000 metre maiden. This is right up
Highway.
right in your lane. Haven't got any markets there at TopSport.
So what's going to happen now with the night racing? I mean, they go up first on Moonee Valley, so it means unfortunately there's no early markets till probably for 3 o'clock or 2 or 3 o'clock today on Thursdays on the provincial meeting. So I had a look at Moonee Valley because I know it'd be easy with the markets up, but no, at the moment the maiden there was too hard. So down there we ventured, mate, down to the Bull.
Lovely. And it's a Hamilton maiden that you found one. It's Eyes to Me. First up here, Aaron Purcell was Meech there on a heavy, and now gets Daryl Horner Jr.
Down on the inside, so ended up 4 back the fence, and Linda's got held up here, and this is the worst possible spot you could be at Hamilton. Down on the inside on a track, they sort of get down the middle in the straight, especially on a one-pacer staying horse. So just gets hampered, picks up nicely, finishes right on the ginger of these leaders, and then after the line is up in between them, up with them. Just got the best form, this horse. Like they put the blinkers on at the Warrnambool Carnival, and it ran in the Boga Legend Cotton Tree Lad, is it? Cotton Tree, whatever it was called, Nico, Cotton Tree Lad. Ran in that race there where those two came along the inside on the monorail, and this ended up back and wide and came widest on the turn in the quicksand and finished off and ran third.
And was smashed in the betting. It was like 50s into 10s.
That day. Yeah. So that was with the shades on. So it showed me something first up there. I backed it second up. I reckon it went 14 to 21 at Horsham. Just didn't get round the Horsham track. Probably might have been a step too far. Came back in distance at the Bull Carnival. The blinkers on, ran really well. Then probably had enough behind Crown of Catherine at Werribee. Resumed, trialled up nicely. That run there, nice clean-up runs. Comes back to the Bull, importantly, wrote that good run at the Carnival. And just hope D. Horner here can get it to the outside, get it building momentum, not down on the inside. He's got barrier 4, just settle midfield, come around them. I think it can round them up in trip, like it up in trip up to the 2,000 second time around for against a field of, Crafty Boss. He's the definition of a pack animal. We name pack animals, Tom Melbourne and these things. Like he loomed the other day at start 18 to win again, wouldn't run past. He's run 8 seconds. Dempsey Girls, similar. She just spins around. Oak Aldino. Geez, he's been a disappointing horse, Oak Aldino. Like I tipped him on here in his second start at Moonee Valley in a mile maiden. He just got beat. He got a bit too far back. So you think he'd be winning. He's been
lost 3 legs since then.
And they've kept him at a mile, which is like, it shows it took him to Coleraine. He failed there on the weekend. Now he's backing up to 2,000. Like, disappointing horse. Maybe the Kamani horse down the bottom, Sondar, can improve. But it's a 3-year. It's like a colt going to a 2,000 maiden, 4th start in its life. Off a blanket finish at Donald, slow race. Might need one more. So, but it's might be open to some improvement. But no, I thought this race is a good race for Eyes on Me, Scoop. Eyes
Nico,
to Me, sorry. Eyes to Me.
Yeah. Oh, Nico, you sent this as a little bit. See, Nick bet Once Upon a Crime.
Yep, I think we backed it at Warrnambool.
You like it?
Actually. And
Horsham or something.
Was it?
That's... Yeah, well, I think it was Horsham.
I like Horsham.
Because the Hamilton run is not the first time it's been slaughtered at Hamilton. Go back and watch the time it got ridden first up last campaign. That is the worst ride you'll ever see.
Out the back.
Out the back.
Yeah.
Nearly fell off it. Like, it was dead set, dead. So, he's been on my radar for a long time.
That was a funny jockey, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it
the French girl.
French girl, and it was her first time, because that's what I said. She was coming, and then she was gone to Hamilton for like her first ride, and it's a tricky track. And I said, if you're an inexperienced jockey getting around Hamilton, then she did. She nearly fell off.
Yeah. So he's always been on my radar, and might be able to kick off the winner a weekend in a high weight 50, high weight maiden. But it is a bit sad that we know those horses probably better than a few running on Saturday, because I knew every name you were talking about, no one back to front. So it looks his race for sure.
I knew I'd get a little bit of a stir out of Nico there. Got some deep wounds. Puntingform.com.au is what we use to do the form. Next best step to become a full or part-time pro punter. You can match your tape watching skills with some data, and they've got all the benchmarks too. So you can find all the horror runs and then see what they did on the clock, and then put it in your black book. And I absolutely love it, and I look at it every day. And I'll have to bury me with my laptop with it. I absolutely love it. Nico, Flemington. There is rain about. You've already spoken to the situation there a little bit. I think it's going to be possibly a soft 5 at the best guess. Probably just knock the edge off at the rain, which is good. One of the best drying tracks in Australia. Don't look at me like that, Walt. Sydney's a basket case. And the first race that we're going to have a look at is race 2. You love a 2-year-old race, Maribyrnong Trial Stakes. This is music to the ears of our listeners who haven't got insight around this and can't be bothered doing all the trials. But Rumbletown's the favourite, $3.90. Price tag $4.60. Sustainable $5. Shining Smile $5.50. Tremonti $8.50 into $7.50. Odessa $7.50. Gambler $11. And then Shiz Loaded $41. wow, you can see a plunge on one or two of these on a year-to-year basis. This is an absolute beauty. And the trial that you like is Waltzcamp, Gaybot, Tremonti in the Derby colours, and it's a hell bent. It's in the blue and white. Tell us why you like it.
Yeah, he was ridden along early, and then Gambler leads him. Gambler's also going to run in this race on Saturday. I think at 1,000 metres and Tremonti drawn 1, he might actually be able to hold out Gambler, stepping up in distance. Behind them out the back is Embassy, I think, Tuscany, who's a $1.5 million colt, and I think he's equal favourite for the breeders. So this just looks stronger trial form than what we've seen in Melbourne. I'd be surprised if any of the Melbourne horses are, our top liners. He's after a bit of effort here back towards the inside, but he's very strong late. Like the way he sort of picks up here this last 100 metres and through the line, he's very strong. So he's gone with Tuscany sort of late there. Tuscany, what's his name? Tuscany is favourite for the breeders. So I think that's a stronger race than what he's going to face here down in Melbourne. It's a big advantage in these 2-year-old races to be near the fence. Looking back through the recent history of this race, Solfica led in 1. Last year, Bodyguard won the race, but the 100-to-1 chance was on the fence, sort of box-seated and sticked away to sort of run second. So I think it's a huge advantage in these straight races to position yourself right down towards there. And I think from 1, there's a fair chance here the leads or box seats. Looking at this race, I thought Rumbletown was very short at favourite. He had one jump-out win at Flemington around the circle, where he beat 3 horses and did it pretty effortlessly, but his most recent jump out down the straight.
It was a typical N. Ryan jump out, isn't it? Where you just under a hold.
Yeah.
You don't get to see what's there. You've seen what's there with Gaze.
Yeah, exactly. So I was sort of surprised he was favourite, and then you sort of look at Price Tag and Shining Smile. Well, Shining Smile actually beat Price Tag when they jumped out at Flemington most recently, and I thought Shining Smile was probably better work, but they're both drawn 8 and 9. I was against those two. I thought Sustainable is probably the danger. I could see the market really coming for her. She looks quite sharp. The horse that beat her, Vamos or something, from Mark Walker's camps, it's the best 2-year-old in Melbourne. So it looks like a good, strong form line already. So I think she'll be the one that the market could come for, and I think Tremonti could have a similar run to, say, Zolfika 2 years ago, where he's just along the fence, getting the right spot, tough horse, knows what to do, knows how to find the line. He might not be the most talented, but I think he's the horse here that is probably the most professional and does bring in, I think, the stronger trial form. So around $7.50, I had him clear favourite. I had him $4.50. So yeah, I'm happy to bet up at $7.50. I think he's going to get every possible chance. You
are a genius. You're a superstar. You can price a field of first starters in a 2-year-old race.
Yeah, well, it's a bit tricky.
He's not only priced at DK, he's used the John Walter pricing system where he just bin the whole market and go $4 this.
That's a $4 chance. That's it. That's an $8 chance.
Walt, you got any intel from Gay Bot? Come on.
Nah.
Come on.
Nah. Don't.
Nothing.
I don't. And I have not looked at any of these horses down there at all. So, I'm best to stay out. And
Child in Sydney. Child in Sydney.
Chime in. I looked at all the 2-year-olds in Sydney too. I found nothing there. So, I'm staying out of the 2-year-olds this week. Nico can have them to himself.
Well, I think with these races, that's the edge. Do the work. Like, if you do the work, there's plenty out there that don't want to do it because it's too hard. So that's the edge with the early races because no one has any idea. So if you can form an opinion and put in the hard yards, you can find an edge in these early races.
We'll just listen to Nico. We'll get Nico's yard stuff, and then you got the edge there. It's just Nico just puts it on a platter, bang, $7.50, Mark
$4.50. Nico's wheelhouse. Stick to what you're good at. Stay in your lane.
Flemington, the Bart Cummings, staying race 7 at TopSport, 2,500 metre. Camel.
This is a bloody ticket into the Melbourne Cup. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Camel Cup, exactly.
The Camel Cup. Yeah. Bart Cummings legend. Great race.
Is this
a good race?
Bart Cummings field or the Metrop field? I've seen half of these horses are in the Metrop.
Yeah, good race. Quantum Cat's in it. Berkshire Breeze, $4.40 favourite. Point King, $5.50. Horrifying, $5.50. St George, $8. Mostly Cloudy, $11. Man Zeus, $11. Positivity. Probably need a little bit more of that from all of us on the show.
There's $13. Here, 8 and 10.
Including
Horrifying and Positivity. We've got the best of both worlds.
Methuselah, $13. Vow and Declare, still going around, $15. Post Impressionist, $17. Just Fine, $18. Quantum Cat, $26. Dash Industrious, Lucan, Whiskey on the Hill, Margarine, Ahmad, Mission of Love, El Dog. And then Interpretation, one of Nico's old lovers. Anyway, the horse that he likes here, no surprise if you've been following the show of recent times, he thought the grey was slaughtered and he's going to tell us about it once more time.
Well, he jumped nearly in front and they went right back to last. So for Saturday, we get a better price because everyone thinks he turned it up or something. It was a very fast run race. The horses out the back with him sort of didn't run home as quick as him. He was quickest of the race, the 4 to the 2, and then 2 of the posts he's fifth fastest. I think he's just out on his feet. Hit the road jacks, a good wet tracker, and he gave Point King an 8-length head start, nearly mowed them down. He was 40 days between runs. He was coming out of a Stolly run, 2,500 metres, where he led the field up and sort of got a bit lost out in front. And then the run prior to that, it was a month ago. So he didn't really have the platform to do that, to sit last, round the field up in a fast run race. I think he's gone as good as he could under the circumstances, running the quickest 4 of the 2 of the race. Now draws barrier 2. So positive barrier switch there. Mick D keeps the ride. I think he'll be a little bit more positive. I don't think they'll lead on him like they did the run prior, but I think he'll probably be in the first half. There looks a bit of speed in this race, and typical of a Bart Cummings, given it's a golden ticket into Melbourne Cup, they can roll along here. You got a few of the gay bots up in front that look like they have none that probably set up a good tempo. So there might be a few horses he's got to work out to get off the back of, but MD is just airborne. Like, he's behind Blake Shin and Zara. Like, he's sitting number 3 at the moment in the Melbourne Jockeys room for mine because he's just flying. He seems to ride Flemington better than anyone, and he seems to ride Stayers. That's probably, his sweet spot. So, yeah, this horse, I think he's the only horse in this race that is a legitimate Melbourne Cup chance. I think he's a better horse than Point King. Under circumstances there, Point King did beat him, but I think if he was closer in the run, he beats him, or same run, he would have won. So Point King's like 15 or 16 bucks for the Cup, and this horse is 50 to 1. So happy to back him on Saturday. I think he'll win. And then I reckon he'll go straight into the Cup and be a live chance. So take the price on Saturday and take the 50s in the Cup. He'll be a big result if he gets up in the Cup there. I'm having a good crack at 50s. I think he is a live chance. So could be a moral Saturday, and definitely a huge chance in the Cup if he wins.
Wow, love the level of confidence here from Nico. DK, you got any thoughts on these?
Is he running there? Do we know if he's actually going there? Is he going to the Metropolitan?
I think he'll stay in Melbourne because I was talking to Trav about this last night. The Turnbull, the Bart Cummings, a few of these horses they weren't getting runs when they put the nominations in, like Berkshire Breeze, he's got in at 16. So I reckon a few of them, like him, Mausoleum, and a few others, have accepted him both because they thought, we might get balloted out of the Bart Cummings. But a few of those horses end up going to the Turnbull or Dodge to go to the Metrop. So I think that's probably why he was in the Metrop. Horse has done all his racing in Melbourne, so I'd be shocked if he's not here. So, I'd be thinking he's 99% to go to the Bart Cummings, and the Metrop was probably just a backup option if he didn't get in.
Yeah, okay. No, that's the right form. The plus map is the appealing part about that horse there, and obviously in the run under his belt. On face value, like he got a beautiful truck up behind Horrifying and produced him at the right time. So you are saying it's fitness based and the better run under his belt because I thought Point King, I thought he was there to be run down, and he just kept kicking and was as strong as any of them on the line. So I think he runs right. I think the form, that's the right form race. I don't really want to angle in on one. Mostly cloudy. I don't know where Froggy ends up. He might end up a mile back in the run. It's one, he was with them there, and Post Impressionist was a bit of an excuse in that race. Didn't handle the wet track, was sort of just trucking up behind them, apparently not handling the ground.
Yeah, I could have something on him at big odds.
Yeah. So no firm opinion, but interesting to see what pans out there, Scoot.
Yeah, I thought if Nico's kicking up for Berkshire Breeze, I'd like to have something small on Post Impressionist if he thinks that might be the right form race. The other horse that we sent as a bit of a tip was Mission of Love in the Benalla Cup. I've sort of got, there's something about this horse that I like. I think Donnie tipped it many moons ago over 12, 1,400, 1,600 metres. Maybe last prep or whatever, but it just kept jumping a bar, and it got really close in a Sunshine Coast Cup, and then it sort of got really close to Princess Rani's in a Tattersall's Gold Crown. I think she's an out-and-out stayer, big track horse, and at $61, I have to have something on her as well. I think they went 15 below to the 600, and then they just dashed home, and Cezero and Too Close to the Sun just had a better turn of foot. So if they go a bit faster on this bigger track, I'll just be absolutely sick if I don't have something on Mission of Love at 60 to 1 in this race. But they're the sort of specs in the race that I'd like, Post Impressionist and Mission of Love. But yeah, I look at that race and I have less confidence in Nico, and hats off to you for coming out and declaring one here. But gives me the heebie-jeebies, this race.
first leg of the quaddie. The Mighty Man Zeus looks like he's going to run down there. He's down his stable transfers in at Mount Macedon at the moment, so it looks like he'll probably run there instead of the Metrop. He'll still drive you mad. You'll either go like a rocket or follow him around.
And then you got like St George, Positivity. There's some like completely different form if you're willing to go away with it. Just Fine, I thought was a bit average. And then there's a couple of horses that are just sort of mixing their runs. But if there's good tempo on, hopefully we can see a bit of a contest here. And even Mostly Cloudy might be another one that can improve a little bit as well. Because was it the horse that ran super next to Mark Twain in the Roy Higgins? I can't really forget that sort of day either. But
yep. He just never
chips
wins, Mostly Cloudy.
Yeah, bit of a thinker, a bit like me. Berkshire Breeze is the way that Nico's going to play it. So full of confidence here, 440 at TopSport, and have a spec on him for the Melbourne Cup, and hopefully you've got a live ticket in the big one. Let's have a look at the Turnbull Stakes 2,000 metre race. Absolute corker. Horses go a few ways here. Good lead-up race for the Caulfield Cup. Some Cox Plate aspirants as well. And usually a good guide for the Melbourne Cup historically as well. Buckaroo's a favourite, $4.40. Via Sistina, $4.40. Elias is $5.50. Young Werder, $10. Warmonger, $12. A Tissue, $13. Plastic Carousel, $13. Weta, $26. Sharp and Smart, $26. Duke de Sessa, $26. Knight's Choice. And a pretty long tail there. Let's dig into a couple of replays here. And the first one we're going to have a look at is Buckaroo. Buckaroo was sort of second pair back and really wide. And they did go quick, so they sort of half put it on for him. But crikey, this is an 1,800 metre race at Caulfield, and I love the way he just exploded. And once Marrera sort of balanced him up and then put a couple across his backside, he's absolutely bolted in here. And if they extend this race, say, another 200 metres, I'm guessing it could be a bigger margin. I thought he might have opened that field right up. And here's Elias here in the blue with the white, the lime, and...
the one that's chiming in and racing away, that one.
Oh, he's just giving it an absolute kicking here.
With the mighty CO Wolf chasing it.
Yeah, you got CO Wolf there, you got Land Legend, Serpentine's in the mix, Golden Path, but this horse has got a massive picket fence. What is he, 9 out of 11 or something like that? So he's completely airborne. I've had a bit of a mare, and I've left off the Via Sistina, Warmonger, and Circle of Fire run in the Mackay Diva, but that was when Pride of Jenny careered away. You had Mr. Brightside.
I don't think it's got any relevance, that race.
Yeah, well, I thought Warmonger was pretty good from a Melbourne Cup perspective, and then Via Sistina, I think there's just a couple of ways that you can sort of think and view this race. And speaking to a couple of guys in Walt's chat room, I think there's a lot of people that think Via Sistina is the big bounce back run. I was a bit concerned. Barrier 12, Chris Waller, not really grand final day. I thought she'd be ridden quite conservative and hopefully she'd sort of hit the line. And then you've got a horse like Buckaroo. He can sort of be fast or slow away. So it'd be interesting to see where Marrera sort of puts him. But, wow, seeing is believing. And what I saw in the Underwood Stakes, this horse has got a serious engine. I'd probably rather back him here in this race around the 440 or at Tristan's at 3 o'clock tomorrow when I can get maybe $5.50 or $6. But that looks a great bet because I'm not sure that 2,400 metres he's going to be as dynamic. He could well be. He could win the Turnbull and could win the Caulfield Cup, but I think the Turnbull is definitely his race. Elias is a strange one. He's also got barrier 16, so do they go back? Do they go forward? If he was mine, I'd be giving him a quiet run because then he just drops to 53 kilos and the Caulfield Cup looks right up his alley. He looks like he'll just keep whacking away forever. And then outside of that, you got, a Tissue. You have to forgive Place to Carousel, who looked like a camel behind Buckaroo. It did get reshod before the race. So there's that to take into account because she was absolutely hammered. And then the other horse that I really like, who is going to really upset Walt here, so I'll go right on with it. But Sharp and Smart, this Kiwi horse, there is something there. I know Walt's been bit dead against it, but this horse I think it carried 63.5 kilos last start at Tarapa.
And I haven't seen it race since it jammed that thing of Friedman's on the line about 3 years ago, and you tell me I'm dead against it. Where's it been? Been racing in Tanzania or something? I don't know.
In New Zealand.
Oh, for same thing.
Yeah, so I don't think it completely come up last prep. Not sure what happened there, but he started off in a 1,200 metre race, the Foxbridge Plate, never going to be suited there. Only got beaten 5, carrying 58 and a heavy 9. Then he's gone straight to 1,600, carried 63.5 kilos, and he's only been beaten 0.4. So I think this horse is absolutely flying. Now drops back to 55 kilos on top of the ground. He's a real X-factor horse for me, sharp and smart. So I'd be pretty keen chips in Buckaroo, and then I'd be having a small little saver bet on Sharp and Smart, and that's the way I'll be playing the race.
Sharp and Smart. I was with the guy at the Cheeseburger when he goes off his head. Sharp and Smart's the horse they put the kids on and charge them $2 to ride around the paddock out the front, mate. That's Sharp and Smart. If it wins a Turnbull Stakes, I'll eat it.
There you go.
You've stopped it. Holy cow.
I knew I'd push his buttons. Nico, it's your meeting, so I'll let you have first crack at it.
Yeah, I think Buckaroo will start favourite of the way the market's trending. V's seen us just continue to drift. Looking at her in the yard, she definitely wasn't suited on that wet track. A dry surface, she can definitely bounce back. The big thing with this race is you don't cop a penalty for winning this if you go to the Caulfield or Melbourne Cup. So that's probably why Ilias is here, because if he won the Metrop, he probably would have. So I don't know if I think they have to go forward from the draw. There's not much speed in the race. Him, Boy de Jont, and probably Duke de Sess is the leader. So yeah, I would have thought going forward's definitely the play there. Buckaroo, I think, could be closer than what he saw last time. And then, yeah, where does Vera sort of get to? You think she has to go back? DK, did you have any thoughts there? But she does have a huge turn of foot. And if it's not a real genuine run race, well, she has the best turn of foot for sure.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm pinning that race at the Maccabi Diva and the circumstances of the day and the deteriorating track and the way it's run with Pride of Jenny. I'm forgiving her and I'm forgiving a Tissue. So Tissue's one of mine. I think she's got a sensational Flemington record. I just went back through it, Spring of 22, no luck in the Empire Rose, won the Matriarch. Spring of 23, second of Pride of Jenny in the Empire Rose, was a huge run, won the Champion Stakes, won the Blamey in the autumn, then ran third to Pride of Jenny and Cascade in the Australian Cup. Just got that one blemish the other day on the wet track, so I'm happy to forgive that on the firmer ground. And Zara, I reckon Zara's a great rider for a Tissue. Great rider. Just that the way he rides, he really suited. So I thought he could run a race at odds. So I'm forgiving the ones out of the Maccabi Diva, Vesestina and a Tissue.
Yeah, I'm probably similar. Definitely very forgiving of that race. I thought Circle of Fire improved heaps since I saw him first up in Melbourne. Like, he's just gone to a new level since he went up to Sydney, come back a much stronger horse. I just completely forgive that run. They put the tongue tie on, crossover on. Like, this was the Melbourne Cup favourite 3 weeks ago. If he's like, he has to do something on Saturday to even warrant going. So he'll be like 100, 150 to 1. He'll be in my exotics because he could pull out a run here on a much better surface.
They still haven't pulled him up from the Sydney Cup.
True.
Yeah, it's a race that drives me crazy the more I look at it, isn't it? It's one of those middle. Right, you'd say Buckaroo's probably the one that's got the most intent to try and win it. I don't think Elias is too fussed, but the race should unfold automatically for it. So the first 4 in the run and run well, and I don't know what the heck to make of Vesestina, and I was possibly her biggest fan sort of leading into last start. So that stable and Marrera on it, Lane on the other, it's just too much for me. It's just too much. It's just too much. Next.
It's a funny one, isn't it? So what the Waller, the stranglehold on the market's just crazy. Like,
yeah, and I just love watching their betting moves at the moment. So I think the actual betting of the race is probably what interests me the most. Like Nico said, Buckaroo, like most likely to start favourite. I agree on intent probably, but if you had told me 2 weeks ago that Buckaroo was going to start favourite over Vesestina, I would have laughed, and Elias is airborne too. So it's interesting.
Just for mine with Buckaroo, it just looks like he's gone to a completely new level. Like his last 2 starts, he's just a different horse this time in.
Yeah, we got $9 against Literal Wombats a couple of starts ago, and it was a good ride to sort of get it home. It was a good win, but then he's built off that, and he looks like he's flying.
Great points made by DK. It looks like absolute grand final day for a Tissue, so she'll jump to a new level, and the track conditions will definitely suit her. And what Nico said about Circle of Fire is absolutely bang on. One for the exotics, but definitely needs to pull his finger out and show something, because he was, as Johnny said, he was super last prep, and now needs to find him. Nico, you'll be there. Nico's Yard, all Flemington races covered, so big day for you. Hopefully the cheap sangers lob there in time, but Nico's Yard at Twitter, the best place to find it, and jump on your Patreon to pay up.
Yep, we had a winning month to start, so hopefully we can go on better again this month, and yeah, keep rolling. We had a few sick beats. Max bet on Growing Empire. So if that goes a bit different, it was probably a huge month. So, yeah, going all right. So hopefully to HQ on Saturday, we pull one out.
Get around it. Moving day, I think T-Dogs has coined it, and I think it's a pretty apt name for this Saturday's racing. So must be glued to the TV and watch it all unfold at Flemington, and equally so probably at Randwick. And race 7 is the one that we're going to have a look at, Johnny. Weather's actually good in Sydney at the moment. Premier Stakes, 1,200 metres. Giga Kick has opened up favourite here, $2.70 into $2.40. Big confident move from the market. Bell and Nipotina $2.80. Think about it, $3.80. Amazu $8.50. Chain of Lightning $21, and much better the rest. Not grand final day is the big asterisk that you need to put next to these runners. But Giga Kick and Bella in the Concord Stakes. Let's have a look at the replay and tell us what you think is going to happen on Saturday and here.
So caught a little bit wide, but they didn't go overly quick here. So he sort of. His wheel spun here for mine. Giga Kick, and he looked like he was going to drop out and do nothing. His last 50 was okay. Bella Nipotina is sort of scooting up the fence there off a shorter break and trialled really well leading in. Private Eye, a few others around there. IME's already the winner. He's already in the race. But yeah, sort of here he looks like they're all going to swallow him up and he's going backwards. And then I didn't think he was horrific. The last 50 sort of got moving again. He's obviously trialled okay since. Is that the only replay?
Yeah, that's the only replay we're going to have a look at.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Number one, he's just been taken by the ATC for a slot in the Everest. So does that take pressure off him to perform here, or do they still have to sort of screw him down? I think 1,000 to 1,200, even with that trial, I couldn't back him off that effort going into this to beat Bella Nipotina. So straight away, I've got to have her in front of him. Yeah, and she's definitely better set up for the 1,000 to 12. She's obviously in the race already, right?
Yep.
And then think about it's got to force his way in. His trials have been good. He's drawn really awkwardly here, but not a lot of speed and a funky little race. So I don't even think if he sort of sat 3 wide, not too far off him, he could be in the finish. I don't really love the race, but I think if Giga Kick continues to firm and think about it, sort of gets out to $5 and Bella Nipotina's 5 to 2 or something, I'd nearly rather back the two of them. I just think he looked a little bit more vulnerable. And I think about it's probably got a little bit more to prove. So if you take a line that he's still vulnerable, which I am, I'm happy to sort of bet around Giga Kick. I just think the market's the only reason why I could bet in the race. He's just a bit short.
Watching the rest of me, Melbourne boys.
Yeah, I think Giga Kick had a few excuses last up, being caught away from the fence, and he's a horse he's a big animal, so he takes a fair bit of racing to sort of get him to his top. So I think he'll be having a good hit out there on Saturday because he'll probably need it again. So yeah, whether you want to dive in at $2.40, that's probably the worry. I think he has to drift from that price, and the market probably comes for Bella Nipotina, but she can't get much better run here on Saturday than what she did last start. So that was probably her race, but she's very consistent. I haven't seen anything about its trials, so probably have to do a little bit more work on the race, but it does look just straight through to the keeper for first glance.
Randwick race 8 is the Metrop, and Unusual Legacy is about third emergency here, so not sure if he's going to get a start, but been 9 into 6, which is a strange move. Maybe, can't really explain that one. Berkshire Breeze, $7.50. Land Legend, $8. Future History, $9. $9.50 Zardozi. Etna Rosso, $11. And then you got First Light, $11. Serpentine, $12. Manzois. Another Julie there with Berkshire Breeze at $15. And then you got Immediacy. One of mine, $15, and then Q Tempster, $16, and Methuselah, $18, Athabaskan, and then again, big long tail. I assume Calipour Donny's horse will just be out there for a bit of a look. He's already in the big cup, so going around for practice, I'd say. Replay we're going to have a look at is, again, we're going to look at just Land Legend because this is the horse that Walt likes in the white and red.
Yeah, so this race is just a super lead-up race. I think, they went even sort of speed and then like ripped home. They've run very fast time. He sort of sat a lot closer this time. He had a little barrier trial first up, and then this time he sort of got a little bit keen, if anything, in behind them. So I think he improved for that. And then when they've sprinted, he's been left a little bit flat-footed, but you can see through the line he's definitely not dropping off. He's sort of just picking up. And if they didn't show the heads of the people who owned the winner 50 metres after this, you could actually see him through the line, but that's not a thing that Racing New South Wales like to show punters anymore. Another whinge. I love whinging. If anyone remembers his first run here last time, it was just insane.
St. Ledger.
They went 100 miles an hour. Tyler had a brain snap and took off around him and just kept going. So 2400's absolutely no problem. I think Serpentine will get out in front and Rock and Roll. He was in that race there and set a similar tempo over 2400, which would be perfect for Land Legend. My only little worry is if Reese can hold him over with 50 kilos. If he can travel in the run, I think he'll just win. I think he's better than these horses getting to this trip. It's just, a lot of these horses are not. Even that Newcastle Cup race, the first light race last week looked putrid. Probably the horses from Melbourne Future History's form looks okay. All those Athabascan Trust You, El Bogganon, they were all beaten a long way in that Land Legend race the other day. They've got to really do something special to turn the tables on him. So I just think $8 is a pretty silly price. Sardosi's interesting, but up to 2400, she was in that race too. She's probably got to find a little bit more. I just feel like he's got a bit more sense of timing and the only one that could be a serious contender coming out of this race going into a race like a Melbourne Cup. And Serpentine's probably the one you've got to have something on if you just left alone bowling in front and they forget about Timmy and he just keeps bowling. But yeah, I thought they were two very hard horses to beat. I actually had Manzoy's third pick and he looks like he's probably not going to be there. So yeah, I think $8 Land Legend's a luxury.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I sort of see the race the same way as you. Immediacy, I've already said there was a bit of a forgive last time, but Barrier 20, Jet Stanley, no thank you. The horse that I think is just crying out for a big track and has all the upside, has only got 50 kilos, is Unusual Legacy. But what is he? Third emergency. Needs another couple of scratchings to get a run, but
yeah,
he'd be an auto bet job for me. And yeah, I think
just like that horse you found first up, sort of, he beat it pretty much on his merits the other day, and they went 100 miles an hour. I think he was entitled to win that race if he's going to win a Metrop, but at least he looks like he's peaking at the right time. It's just the $6 is what doesn't make sense to me. How can it be? If it was 20s, which I think it should be, you would bet it's an auto bet 100% because it's got upside, hasn't it? But when I just that weight for age form nearly like Elias is going to weight for age race, CO Wolf's going to run a hell of a race in an Epsom, and Land Legend was poking along just behind him.
He's just a big type, this Unusual Legacy. I think his run at Scone was good, and I think he just needs, say, a Flemington or a Randwick to show his best. And as crazy as it sounds,
who rides it? Who rides?
Wiremu Pin, but I think he's been injured. He's copped an injury. He fell off or something at track.
Well, Jay Ford will be available if Manzoyce is not running, so he'll probably just
maybe
slide straight onto it.
Yeah, but it still probably won't get a run. But
Star of India's out already.
Yeah,
and if Berkshire Breeze and Manzoyce come out, he's in.
Oh, so it's a big chance. Oh, he might be. Oh, yeah, so I'm asleep at the wheelie. But yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if Unusual Legacy ran a big race in a race like the Melbourne Cup. I think this horse will run forever. I just like this big frame horse, and yeah, he just need big track. And he's
you wish Nash could ride 50.
Big baby.
He'd be handy with Nash on him at 50, wouldn't he? I think Nash just suits this horse so well.
Swinging off, but singing out the same hymn book here. Walt and I are aligned. Nico?
I've had something on Future History at a big price, so thought he'd sort of get there in this race. Gets probably a pretty good map from 3, so I'll be cheering him. I'm on Land Legend as well, so that'll be my 2 best results. I haven't really done the race in depth, but yeah, I would say he's a moral to get in Unusual Legacy. He's got Strathay in front of him with no rider booked. And then Berkshire Breeze probably comes to Melbourne. Manzoyce may come to Melbourne, and Al Bodegon's also got no rider for the same connection. So favourite in the Metrop, I think they'll find a way to get him in.
Future History won the Bart Cummings this day last year, so he's gone to the Metrop this year. Left the other one for Berkshire Breeze.
Yep,
stablemate.
Interesting jockey booking. Interesting jockey bookings. Full stop with these low weights. We're going to have a look at some more of them in race 9 in the Epsom handicap. Odds TopSport. CO Wolf $6. Royal Patronage $7. Kovalika $7.50. Major Bill $10. Is that right? 21 into 10. Tom Kitten, $11. Democracy Manifest, $16. Chrysaor, $16. $17. My Oberon. Nugget, $17. Detonator Jack, $18. McHale, Waltz, 80-1. Winner, last start, $21. You got Kintyre. They've flown down CJ Graham. Wowee, $21. Redina, Berkshire Shadow, Arctic Glamours there, $26. Bit of a move for Firestorm, 51 into 31. Galeron, $34 in from 201. Wow. Floating $41. Molly Bloom 51 in from hundreds. One Aussie horses, DK. Then you got Log Eagle and Osbred Flirt. This market is unbelievable, and what an unbelievable race. Unbelievable jockeys engaged, and I'm excited about it.
It's unbelievable.
Sort of,
It's
but
unbelievable.
confused.
Gringotts and NCAP would probably be starting third and second favourite. They're waiting for next week because there's another $2 million race that completely dilutes this one.
Let's have a look at the 7 stakes first. You got Detonator Jack, you got Royal Patronage, you got Maribyrnong.
So, yeah, everything went wrong here for Royal Patronage. Probably looked like he was going to map outside Major Bill. I think Major Bill shortened up its leading here because it's just run a couple of really big numbers and dropping in weight. But, it's probably got a few things against it. And Maribyrnong was good, but had the absolute dream run back on the inside. Gets the top weight here, but it's only 56.5, and it's definitely not a vintage Epsom field. So I think it's got to be considered as well. But I thought Royal Patronage was a complete forgive there, and I think meets Maribyrnong a little bit better at the weights.
Bill Ritchie here.
So McHale back on the inside. Who else have we got in this race? Coming down the outside, Tom Melbourne, is it?
You got Kintyre, you got Tom Kitten.
Tom Melbourne, yeah. Yeah, Kintyre was a good clay. It's actually well set up, Kintyre. CJ's interesting, but with 50, she's probably she's actually not got that big an issue. I think she'll suit the horse well enough. She can sort of poke forward on it and it'll run okay. Tom Kitten certainly, I think, had a bit of a blowout there, second up 1,400. I think they sort of just looked after him and gave him a clean out run. Didn't want him too fit or too peaking. Come with this race in mind, probably third up a mile. This is about as short as he wants it. Is that what we're watching there?
Yep, just that. Yeah,
I the more I looked at this race, the more I graded myself up. But first opinion was we'd already seen the replay of CL Wolf a couple of times behind Elias. That race is just so strong for this. There's whispers that he's going to go to the Caulfield Cup off the back of this, and that's what scares me. But if that's absolute garbage, which I've got to think that it is, to me, he's only got to have even luck sitting in the first half of the field and no sort of crazy bias, and he's going to be ripping down the outside CL Wolf. I think he has to be number one. I think Royal Patronage will run well. He probably needs just a little bit more luck that first 400 metres of the race to get across from an awkward gate. I can see why they took the 20s Major Bill because he looks like the natural leader with no weight and he's run those big numbers he had to run well. And you can sort of make half cases for so many horses. Kovalik, Democracy Manifest definitely looks like it's been targeting this race one out, which it normally does. Kintyre okay, and my old mate Osbred Flirt was just a complete barrier trial first up. They walked in a race at Newcastle, gets the blinkers, doesn't have a rider at the moment. But it's got gate 2 blinkers and it's 80-1. It could be the 80-1 shot this week that upsets the apple cart. It's got a huge turn of foot on it when things go its way, Osbred Flirt. And honestly, that was a complete forgive first up. So I think she's worth a peanut at 80s. But I can't see myself not backing CL Wolf, and I don't want to lose on the race if Royal Patronage wins. They're probably my main two.
Yeah, again, agree completely. I thought, yes, CL Wolf, if he goes back 2 starts, you got a more victorious.
Didn't he?
He smashed him. He just smashed him to pieces. And I was sort of kicking myself last week that I didn't. The blinkers going on Mo Victorious.
Well, you thought he was gone because of how bad CL Wolf cast him up, and then he sort of held off a lot of these sort of types last week, didn't he?
Yeah, I was sick, and then it just drifted out to $9.50 or $10, and then CL Wolf's just gone absolutely gangbusters in the Kingston Town. If they threw blink, I think this horse will go to a new level when they put the shades on him, the blinkers. But he might come out and do a number on these horses, and they might even take him to a Cox Plate. I don't know. Maybe I'm wishful thinking here, but I think this horse is a complete star. Can't believe they bet sort of $7.50. And outside of him, I think there's some crazy prices about some of these horses like Firestorm. I thought Firestorm should have beaten Unusual Legacy by even further when I had a look at the replay of her. She was super. She half got carved up, I thought, last start, and she got carved the start before and carried Osmond. So she's had 2 horror rides, and now she drops to 50 kilos, but Mark 2 plus 3, as DK calls him.
Got to be one of the weirdest setups ever. 1,500 midweek to a 1,900, then back up 7 days later. Like, it must be a miracle that it's got in the race. I don't think it was ever a target.
Yeah, something there. And, a horse like Galeron. I think Annabelle's slowly figured this horse out, but I don't know what she's done putting in a race like this.
They don't even charge you to ride Galeron. You get $2 to ride Sharp and Smart. You got to pay. They don't even charge you for Galeron.
Anyway, that's another horse that there's absolutely flying. Got an inside draw, 50 kilos. But outside of CL Wolf, I can see something just coming out at big odds here and knocking a few of these out. But
Yeah, I don't know. What do you do with Tom Kitten? What does Nico do with Tom Kitten?
Biggest buy I've ever seen, but Barry draws surely the end of him. Barry 19. Nico?
Yeah, it's probably similar for a few of them. Like Tom Kitten, he was huge first up. Smash Seawolf first up. So that probably has to be taken into account somewhere. Maribyrnong's the same. Like, he was great last start. That looks like a key form reference against Fangirl, but he's drawn 21. Like, if you can nail the map, you probably nail the race. And if there's any pattern on the day, well, if it's sort of like last year, he had to be on the fence. Well, they're completely out of play, and you can probably pen a few of them. So, yeah, just wait and see how the truck's playing, because it'll have a huge impact on this race.
Group 1 DK, nothing there?
No, nothing. No, big Randwick miles. I prefer something easier than them, but no, there'll be, as you said, there's 10 hopes at least. Not my go. Have a watch.
Yeah, funny race with some funny jockey bookings with the weight sort of well down there. So a couple of, hopefully there's if can't get the winner, hopefully there's a good little story.
Even
from
Chad
one
on
of the
Seawolf 54 is a bit of a weird one. I just couldn't really work that one out, to be honest. He's got so many options at 54, but anyway, good luck to him.
Yeah, but Joe and Kieran have got some strange jockey bookings.
Options. Yeah, they come up with some strange options. But.
I did love to see the hyperbaric chamber at Bong Bong the other day on the Twitter sphere. So they'll go to every extent to get the horse right with the hyperbaric chamber, but then the jockey selection from the yard just leaves a lot to be desired at certain stages.
Who owns that? Does he own it, or does Racing New South Wales own the chamber? I don't even know. I saw a lot of the trainers blowing up or half blowing up, so can anyone use these or something? It's quite funny, but he's moved a lot of he's shut his Warwick Farm operation to move all the horses to Bong Bong. So I'd like the transport. I'd love the transport contract of the Mar stable. It'd be pretty handy. You
might need the hyperbaric. The hyperbaric chamber. You might go.
You've told me I should be getting 2 hours of sunlight a day, and I get 2 hours a week at best. I might need something.
Racingwatch.com.au. You won't get much sun there, but you get all the mad punters in the Discord chat and then Telegram if you want no noise. So make sure you head to racingwatch.com.au. Johnny is a freak, so sign up there. Nico, Tassie on Friday, it's Launceston, and you eat these for brekkie, lunch and dinner. Thanks to our good mates down at Tas Racing. At tasracing.com.au, they've got hosted coverage on their Tas Racing TV. So you get the mounting yard, you get the pre and post race, and then you get the feed there. So you can just watch it all online. So pretty simple, and you can just lock yourself into all Tassie racing and get around it. So let's find two good bets there on Friday night. The first one is race 7. It's the Varley Leon Hesketh, benchmark 76 over 2100. And the horse you like here is red, yellow cap, third fence. Nico.
Yeah, this is Golden Prophet. He's in the Trinder colours. He is a massive horse, this guy. He's won 2 races and they've both been at Launceston. This is at Devonport. I don't know if he gets around Devonport as well as he gets around Launceston. Look at his legs. He looks like a giraffe coming up the straight, but I think he's much better on the wide open spaces and on the grass track. He was just sort of playing to the line here, but the run prior, he was really good at Launceston, where I think he should have won over 1,600 metres. He was second up off a long spell, hit the line strongly, and should have gone very close to winning. Then last start, forgive that run, he was still thereabouts. He started favourite, very similar sort of form race. Now he gets up to 2,100 metres, which is where his career peak did come when he won a Class 1 here. And he should just lob, I would say, in behind the speed from barrier number 4. Similar sort of form line. Zulu Angel, who I think will be favourite, and sort of does bring in a last start win. It's a question mark at the distance. So I think there might be a little edge there. I think the market will be really in love with it. Started 2:30 last start, won at Devonport, keeps Craig Newitt. There's a lot of ticks for it. So I think just with the distance rise for it, it probably brings Golden Prophet right into play. I'd be thinking he's probably second pick. If you can get around $4, it's probably a really attractive price for him, given he should improve getting to Launceston. So, with the big draft, Golden Prophet, I think this is his race.
Golden Prophet. We're going to about Golden Prophet on Friday night at Launceston, race 7. $3.50 favourite last time, Nico. So the market's going to find it, and you're saying any price around the $4 quote, you're going to bet with confidence.
Yeah, I think he'll probably open that. I think Zulu Angel's favourite, and then it'll probably be him.
All right, the big fella at Launceston will enjoy that galloping room a lot better. Race 9 is the next one. It's the Python Palmy. Sporties on a Monday night, Class 1 handicap. So this is where you need to be. Love that little sponsorship there. And Blonde Star is the horse that we're going to back in this one, Nico, in race 9. It's in the lime green, slowly weighing the trial, and there it is, 5th and outside and last.
Yeah, the second horse in this trial is Lodosis in the just in front of her in the sort of brown and lime colours. He goes all right, and she absolutely puts these horses to the sword. Love the way when she found clear galloping room, she just explodes. She's a horse that does wear some gear. They've sort of had the blinkers and the visors on her that went on the trial, but really love this last 100 metres where she's strong to the line, was really strong through the line as well. So last preparation was her first racing campaign. She was really good. She won her maiden down there at Hobart in good style. She'd never really run a bad race. She just got a bit too far back in a few of those races. But her most recent run was in one of the 3-year-old open races over the Carnival, where she was back last and flew home in some of the quicker closing splits of the meeting in a $50,000 race. So that's substantial down there in Tassie. Most of them are 25. So that's a pretty strong form line for this event. I thought she could just probably park just in behind the speed. There's a bit of rain around on the night, so I'm hoping that will even up the track. So backing 2 horses that, Blonde Star's going to be probably nowhere near the early speed, but I think she's probably the best horse in this race. Kensington Diva looks a danger. He's having her first run in Tasmania. Won first up here in Victoria at $1.45 on the synthetic. All of her best form seems to be over 1,000 metres, and this is 1,100, but she was quite good last start at Bendigo on a benchmark 64, so this is a bit of a drop in grade, but I think Blonde Star's got some ability, and I think Kensington Diva, if it was 1,000, you'd probably be tipping her. At the end of 1,100 from a wide gate is probably the big knock there, so Blonde Star to just sort of stalk the speed, get to the middle part of the track. Hopefully the track's a bit rain affected by that stage of the day and they're getting away from the inside, and she should be really strong late off a good trial.
What price are we taking here?
I think she'll be second pick as well. I think Kensington Diva has to go up favourite off the Vic form. First up, I think she'd be second pick. Anything over sort of 350 I'd probably be happy with. So we'll see what happens there. Sometimes it's very hard to predict the Tasmanian markets, but I think off her ratings and sort of the form she produced last campaign and a few of the winners around her, she'd have to be right up there, and probably second pick to Kensington Diva.
Outstanding. Erica Byrne-Burke, one of our girls, takes a ride there. So she's done us a few favours in the past. So
we're going for the double. She's on both.
Bet with confidence for Erica, and follow her all summer carnival. All right, great to have Tassie Racing back with us. As I said, hosted coverage, so look for the Tas Racing TV at tasracing.com.au, and you get the mounting yard coverage. You'll be able to see Snapper, and you'll get his pre- and post-race interviews, so you'll be able to marry up some of Nico's selections with Snapper, push money in, and collect after that. So just lock in for the Tas Racing series. It'll go all through till next year, and when we get to the Launceston and Hobart Cup. So great to have them back on board. Donnie, last week had the Wheatwood meeting. Now he's back on board with a couple of selections at Doomben on Saturday.
G'day boys, Donnie's here with the best bet this week. First one, race 7, Navy on the Highway. It's a really talented horse. It's got plenty of early speed and a big late engine. It should be winning race 7 around the $3 mark. And then we go to race 9, Bubba's Bay. It's trialled nicely since its last start failure. It'll lead on its own. It'll give a big kick. All it's got to do is hold off the favourite head wall. It was $10 last night, a bit shorter this morning, $6.50. I think it's a great each-way bet. Good luck, boys.
Can't disagree with Donnie in race number 8, Navy on the Highway. Went super behind one of Johnny's horses, Cigar Flick, Pure Paradise, who was super at the Gold Coast, and I think that was a Kennewell horse, but she looks definitely up to stakes grade here, so the No Metro win race will be fine. Talia Fenton's riding well, just has to navigate barrier 11. And Donnie's other horse, Barassi, is Gary gone. It's completely cactus there. So Navy on the Highway should get the job done. And then race number 9 looks competitive. Headwall, Tribeca Star, Bubba's Bay. And the market's already telling the story there. Cody Collis rides okay. 950 into 550, Bubba's Bay at TopSport. So price gone, but obviously pretty high level of confidence there from Donnie. TopSport Steam, not from 4 last week, so they need to lift. The first one here is Doomben Race 5, number 3, and that's Don't Forget Jack. That's A. Mallion, M. Dunn, 420 into 350 there. So looks like a bit of a partially accepted bet. So this horse has got a fair bit of ability, but it does come up against Mashani Lily, who is completely airborne. And I thought the last 2 runs from her have been great. So they're claiming 3, so she'll go 62.5 kilos with the 3 kilo claim. I'm saying 1200's as far as she wants, so I'm tipping that's going to be a fair 2-horse war there. Randwick race 4, number 3 is Swift Falcon, 1,000 at $4.20. This is a horse that I sort of like. No, I start Nico at Flemington, and was a dual nominator. They opted to go the Flemington way, but
went like a rocket there. Yeah.
Flemington race 5, number 10, Savagery Vibe. Funny named horse, but 120 at $18 here in the Danehill Stakes. Nico.
It's a funny race to Danehill. You got the 2 Price Kent horses who, like Reserve Bank, hasn't really put up a big rating. I'm surprised he's so short in the market. First Settler was good last start. Can he sort of replicate that again? Second up, that'll be the question mark for him. And then where do you sort of go after that? Bodyguard, can't imagine him improving at all at 3, so he's probably chasing old numbers. So I can see why the punters have gone looking for something at a bit of a price. I thought the one might have been Lofty Arch, is it? They went up 50 to 1, which is crazy odds off his last start number. I think he's into about 21 or 26 now. I'd probably rather have my 120 on him, but can't really knock Savagery Vibe. She's had 1 start for 1 win and is the lone filly tackling the boys.
Someone's trolling you here, Walt, with the next one. Morphettville race 2, number 1, Gold Rush Guru, 1,600 at $2.35.
Who's riding it?
I'm not sure if they have a jockey change here, but let's have
race,
a
race 2
little
on the fly.
Little squeeze.
T. Johnston claiming 3. I was just
Caitlin Jones off.
Jumped in trip last start, got to the front too early. It was sort of a bit of a sitting shot, soft draw. I don't know these horses. I don't know Athanatus, but it'll have to be a good horse to beat. It's a good horse, and it's well set up this time. So, they're clear 2, and there's another thing, $3.60. But, I love the horse, and I think it's much better set up with that mile run under the belt now.
Outstanding stuff. All right. Absolute whopper of a show, massive show, and hopefully we've made things a little bit clearer for you, because it's definitely a tricky day to be betting and doing the form. Spring's definitely here, and it's going to be a massive month, 6 weeks, or even just the run into Christmas nowadays. The way they have pushed the Carnival back, it's going to be on for young and old. So make sure you bet responsibly, and marathon, not a sprint, all that sort of business. And big thanks to you, Walt, and the boys down in Melbourne. Have a great weekend in the punt. Good luck, and we'll see you next week. See you, boys.
Thanks, Goody.